Hey guys, this is Leon 4000. I did call myself Leonard Noah Jr. in the last video, but I'll get straight to the point of this video. I'll keep it under 10 minutes if I possibly can. I want to talk about this internet censorship going on out there and the shit that's on YouTube. But they both they're doing everything they can to censor stuff. I just got off a Chibi Reviews video, and man, is he and a lot of other YouTubers peeved, and they're right to do so. Why? Because already, on YouTube's side of things, those guys are, as we already been aware, or if you guys already know, and maybe in my last video or by someone else, YouTube is basically penalizing anyone that criticized them about the YouTube HAI verification system. Messed that word up, but point is, people are out there criticizing it and they're getting strikes for it. I don't know if warning strike is the word I would say. It didn't sound pretty much, it didn't make sense to me to say last video. And it really just goes to show that every person that's in the know with the censorship are just pushing right through. And there's 7 more of these bills out there just like it at the end of the day. And like I said, I still need to go check them out. And I'll bring up another issue with censorship. Now, I'll bring up Roblox, for example, and thanks Roblox for compromising yourselves. All you had to do was find a way to make child predators accountable. And I'm using you guys as an example. I gotta stop talking too fast before I can even articulate. Back at it. Roblox, as you know, unfortunately, they dropped the ball big time to the point that people are boycotting them and not even getting online to do anything because the child predators are pretty much being protected. At least that's from what I'm hearing from their end of things. But the point is, the circumstances of Roblox's situation has not got them even sued by one of the politicians. But you have to keep in mind, one of the politicians is also in this thing, so she could get attention and support for the aforementioned bills. The Kids Online Safety Bill, Bill, and all 7 of them. And they're just going to try to go for more oversight of the internet. The governments and all these companies have been wanting the internet for years. A lot of years, ever since it was first created. They barely got their hands on it. And ever since then, we had SOPA, PIPA, ACTA, and all these other stuff they tried to pull. And now they're just being so aggressive that payment processors are finding themselves into it. Collective Shut and all these organizations are trying so hard to basically act like all the gamers and internet users are the problem to this. The way I definitely look at it for these situations, for all these government oversights, it's not a direction that we should really go. And part of the reason we're also in this issue always comes down to the parents that doesn't want to really raise their children well and lets them do whatever. And granted, I know it's challenging to monitor your kids, but that's where you got to be there for them to teach them online safety and to basically check on them every once in a while. And I know the curiosity is another challenge in itself, especially when kids go to school. But you can't just sit there and not even check these websites for yourself to find out the content, or even keep in mind of the possibility of predators going to the most popular sites they can think of YouTube, Roblox, anything. And just do exactly what they do the best. Prey on children. And then we get to the second part, which is already obvious. The government companies that wants government oversight on the internet. And while I tripped up on my last few words about them, the point, what I'm really trying to say is this. It's just going to lead to a further rise in censorship if they get even a mile at this. You give them even an inch or even a mile, they'll go straight 100 million miles past that. It's just never going to stop with people like that because they think more control is going to do it. More security is going to do it. And I've heard some quotes about having more security at the cost of freedom and liberty. And I believe those guys, especially our the founding members of our nation. And when it comes to places like YouTube and asking for ID and all that, YouTube, you're basically challenging all the hackers to one day break into your security like this. If you get ID scans of your face and all that, include your credit cards, have you guys now learned anything what happened to the T app and the dozens of other companies that got hacked? I told my little story about Virginia Premier, T, and a few other places that got hacked. And those places had stuttering. And those places required driver's license and other IDs and include credit cards and stuff. And those places got hacked. Come on, guys. I don't even have to get angry. I just gotta say that I just don't like the way YouTube is trying to do all this. And then again, they're pretty much at the whims of anybody who's telling them that they gotta censor more of this stuff. Before you know it, even mature radio shows is going to be heavily censored or restricted, depending on which content is up here. Some mature radio stuff is either informative or just for entertainment. I checked the entertainment part of it. But I know there's people that will check in other things with adult rated content and the things they get into. It's just not a good idea for them to go into censorship like this. But that's why it's so much important for all of us to be persistent. To contact as many people as we can to spread the word. And if people say, what's the use of doing protests and all this stuff? Guys, you're making an excuse for your defeatist mentality. And as for someone who's been under that mentality from time to time, it sucks. And you need to get out of that crud. If you don't even try to stand up for what you believe in, you're just asking the people behind all this to walk all over you. And the last thing you need is to start regretting all your past thoughts when you could take care of it right now. I don't like internet censorship and all this stuff that's going on. Because when you give them even a little bit, they want more. That's the people that we got in control of the governments and YouTube right now. They will always want more, and you got to really stop and think about that kind of mindset. But you're not going to do it if you're going to put your head down. I was about to stutter again. With that said, I'm done with this video. I'm just stupefied how we have to see all this stuff. It's in every history book I've ever read about. Critical thinking. They're even taking some of those classes out. We need some of this stuff back with the critical thinking and all these important classes. Because the stuff that's going on in America and UK is why you need to have a strong spirit, mind, and a lot of other things you gotta carry into this. You don't want to be a punk around, you don't want to be a coward around these guys. They sense weaknesses. We gotta do way better than this. And it starts from within. That's it.